Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Testing, testing, testing. Testing. Check, check. Testing, 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 testing. Hello. Hello. Testing, testing. Testing. Testing, testing. 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 Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Testing, testing.
Test. We're good? All right, I like this one best, so. Okay. Testing, testing.
Check. 1, 2, 3. Check, 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 check. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Hello.
check the book.
You're done? All right.
All right, now.
All right, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, can you hear me? All right, good. Okay, I'm trying to. Is it loud enough? Can you hear me now? Yeah, okay, can you hear me now? Test. 1, 2, 3, 4.
We're gonna have to switch out. We can't use the random microphone. It's not picking you up. Here, talk.
Okay, can you hear me? Loud and clear? All right, good.
Keep talking.
All right, talk. Test. Do we have to stream like right now?
We're streaming, don't worry.
Okay.
Can you work camera and commentate? We're in trouble.
Yeah, I know. All right, dude, we gotta do that. We're live? Okay. Welcome one, welcome all to the Harvest Christian Academy versus Aurora Christian JV Varsity Volleyball game. We are here in beautiful, sunny Elgin, Illinois. I am John Mickle, and here with me is Matt Borst. Hey, Matt, how you doing?
I'm doing really good right now. Really pumped to come out and see our girls come out and try and pull off an upset here with Aurora Christian Academy.
I'm excited as well. Now, as they line up, as they begin their set, let's see who starts out. Team lineup today is number 25, Michaela Franz, number 22, Ashley Floyd, number 1, Morgan Lockwood, number 3, Becca Salas, number 8, Lily Batacola, and number 18, Allie Franz. And number 20, Carol Kaufman in the white short sleeve is our libero. Becca Kaufman, number 3, is beginning our serve for the Lions. And over the net to number 6, to number 1, over number 5, and point for Aurora Christian, fouled by Ashley Floyd.
Not exactly the hope, not exactly the start we were hoping for. We were hoping our girls would come out and start something really quickly. But unfortunately, Aurora Christian looks like they're on top of their game this morning.
Let's just hope that doesn't continue all the way through, shall we? Number 1 over to Carol Kaufman, who bumps to Michaela Franz, and Allie Franz bumps over the net to number 6, Sarah Boss, and number 15 hits it over, Jenny Dan with the point for Aurora Christian. Scores now 0-2. Harvest Christian Academy falling behind. Number 5 serves again. Over to Carol Kaufman, who bumps to Becca Salowitz, who bumps to Allie France, who bumps it over. Number 6 to number 4, Kristen Madsen. Becca Salowitz to Michaela France. Over to Emily Schmidt. Number 1, Hope Manambalo. Manambalo. That's such a strange name. Hope Manambalo. And back to Michaela France for the Harvest Christian Academy Lions, serving over to number 5, Emily Schmidt, and number 4, Kristen Madsen. Over to Carol Kaufman, to Becca Salowitz, to Morgan Lockwood. Number 4, Kristen Madsen. Number 2, Jillian Hwepner. Number 20, Carol Kaufman. 3, Becca Salowitz. Number 1, Morgan Lockwood over the net to number 1, Hope Monantolo again, as Harvest Christian Academy takes the point for the tie. What do you think about that, Matt?
Well, I'm starting to like what I see. It looks like they've really woken up out there. They're starting to play well as they serve into the net.
Never want to serve into the net. I always say, can't play the net. It's a lie. And number 6, Sarah Bosch for the serve for Aurora Christian. And it seems like a confusion with the referees and Aurora Christian. It seems like a substitution needs to be made for Jenny Don going in for number 8, Miranda Begelman. There's confusion in this court. I guess substitution was not called, and Miranda Begelman is still able to play. Number 6 over to Carol Kaufman. Morgan Lockwood to Ashton Floyd, who sets it over and is blocked, but recovers it quickly to Allie France. Number 1, Hope Madonalo. Number 8, Miranda Begelman. And Carol Kaufman goes for the dive, but fails to get there.
You know, one thing I've really noticed with Carol Kaufman is that she's always going hard for that ball. She may not get it every time, but she's always going hard in the paint.
She's definitely got that determination. I know exactly what you're talking about. Number 6, Sarah Boss up to serve again with the score, 2-4. Harvest Lions -2. And some more confusion on the court. This is not a great way to start a game.
Yeah, it looks like Aurora Christian's having trouble with their lineup.
As Harvest Christian Academy goes for a quick huddle, they seem to be talking over their battle strategy. Seems like Mr. Floyd and the head coach of Aurora Christian seem to be talking with the ref. Major confusion here going on, and I don't understand what's going on. Again, we're at the Mitchell Swabeck Center here in Elgin, Illinois at Harvest Christian Academy. A beautiful stadium, isn't it, Matt?
Yes, it is. It's brand new, really. We had it built, what was it, 3 years ago or something like that?
Yeah, I think it was 3 years ago. Donated by the Swabeck family from their lost son.
Yeah, a very touching story. If any of you have any time at home, you really need to go look at the story of Mitchell's. It's a great story.
Very interesting. Number 1, Hope passes it to Becca Salowitz to Patrick McGuire. Over to number 4, Kristen Madsen, Kayla Kaufman. And over to Becca Salowitz to Ashlyn Floyd, who digs it over the net. Number 4, Kristen, over to Kaufman, who dives for the ball but doesn't seem to make it over to any of her teammates or to the other side of the net. She takes it out, and Sarah Boss is back to serve. Serve Boss to Michaela Franz to Becca Salowitz. Floyd hits it over to Boss as Madsen goes over to Schmidt. Franz up to Salowitz. Back to Franz over the net. And Madsen to Hope. And Salowitz to Lockwood, who slams it over. Back to Boss to Madsen. And then over the net to Floyd to Salowitz. And Salowitz, and with some confusion by Carol Kaufman, both hit it out at the same time.
Communication is a little bit rough out there. Maybe it's just, early morning start. What do you think, Jim?
I think it's a little early morning for me, too. I was not extremely happy to come to this game today at 10 o'clock in the morning.
That makes two of us.
Sarah Boss serves it over. Carol Kaufman sets it to Morgan Lockwood, who Ashlyn Floyd hits it over to Morgan Lockwood. And Silence to Kaufman. And number 1, Hope Matambo. I still don't think I can say that right. Matambo. It's a very confusing name, but she hits it out, giving the point to the Lions, making the score 3-6. Lions down by 3.
Those last names are really testing your speaking abilities, aren't they, Jim?
Yes, they are. I'm still trying to follow this sheet, and it's not working out too well. Carol Kaufman serves over to Sarah Boss, to Madsen, and then to Julian Ruckner. Harvest Lion get the point, making the score 4-6, down by 2. Carol Kaufman serves. To number 2, Ruckner. To Salowitz, to Lockwood, who spikes it over. To number 1, Hope Medallo. And back to Hope. To Salowitz, to Floyd, who taps it over. Lilybeth Abaticola spikes it over, making the score 5-6 for the Harvest Lions. Joe Kaufman serves it over. And the play is called out. From my perspective, Matt, it seemed like it was actually in. But I guess that means that's why they're officials and we're not.
Exactly.
Number 2, Julian Wepner to Michaela France, who bumps it to Beck Salowitz. Back to Belgman to Lilybeth Abaticola, who taps it over. Sarah Boss, Julia Wepner, and Carol Kaufman goes for the dive, and Carol Kaufman sets it over, making the score 6-7. Harvest down by 1.
There's that determination we were talking about earlier. She goes hard every time, diving all over the place. She really makes a lot of great saves.
She really does. She's a very good backbone for this team. Good thing she's libero. And over and out by number 2, Julian Wepner. Ashlyn Floyd, number 22, up for the serve. Over to number 5, Schmidt. 8, Bergman. And point for the Aurora Christian Eagles. Back to serve is number 1, Hope Matalbano. That's such a strange name. Spikes it over to Ashlyn Floyd, who was supposed to get that, but behind her, luckily Morgan Lockwood was there, but she hit it out instead. Montano back to serve. Kaufman bumps it to Floyd, and France lightly sets it over to number 5, number 3, and over is to Lilybeth Abaticola, but she fails to deliver. Making the points 7-10. Lions down by 3. Kaufman up and bumps it out. She went for it, and she did not succeed here. She does have that determination, Matt, but I just don't think she's pulling off a lot of what she's putting in.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. It looked like we were waking up, we were having a good comeback, but then all of a sudden, Aurora Christian is just, we've not been able to answer that.
And Montalbo serves are very good and accurate and have a great spin serve. 8 Belgamen to France, to Lily Batacola and Becca Salowitz, who kind of have some confusion over the net. Emily Schmidt over the net to Ashlyn Floyd, who fails to deliver once again. These girls are not doing very good today. I'm guessing they're a little bit sleepy, but I guess that's okay sometimes.
Well, in their defense, Aurora Christian Academy has had some great placement with all their spikes and serves so far. It's been really hard for us to answer.
That is true. They have gotten very good so far, but right now we're almost half of their score. The score is 7-13. Lions down by 6. And Hope Matalbano serves it to the net. Number 8, Jordan Pearson. Number 9, Jordan Pearson, my bad. Serves over the net to number 3, and she goes for the dive. She gets it to Becca Salowitz, and Ashlyn Floyd spikes it over the net. Number 2, Julian Wetner to Jordan to Floyd, and back to Boss. Kaufman to Floyd, over to France, who spikes it down, but is blocked. Lily Mathematica saves. Becca Salowitz up, and Emily Schmidt tries to get it over, but spikes it into the net. Jordan back to serve. Clean and easy over the net to Boss, to Lepner, and back to number 8, Miranda, who decides she wants to put it into the net again. Jordan back to serve. The score is now 10-13. Harvest is coming back. Number 5, Emily Schmidt bumps into the net once again. She is not having a very good streak today, Matt.
Must be the early morning again.
Early morning gets the best of us. Jordan over to Schmidt, who goes to Bagalmano, to Ferrans, to Abatacola, back to Boss, to Lepner, to Salowitz. Lilybeth Abatacola goes for the block, but in turn ends up with a net violation, making the score 11-14. Harvest down by 3.
Let's just hope that does not kill our momentum. We had a great spurt going there.
We did have a great spurt going. We were coming back. Jordan got us a lot of serves. Number 8, Miranda serving over to Kaufman. Floyd to France, who lightly taps it over to number 2 and number 1, Hope. Back to Floyd. Salowitz over to number 2, Wepner. And Emily Schmitz bumps it over to Jordan. Floyd to Lilybeth Cola, who lightly taps it over to Schmidt. And some confusion between number 2 and number 3. Jillian Wepner to Michaela Woodfork. And Carol Kaufman tagging in with Ali Franz. Lily Batacola comes in for the serve. And a timeout by Aurora Christian. Seems like Harvest is going to decide to make the full use of this time. What do you think the coaches of Aurora Christian are saying to their teammates right now?
You know, really, I just think that she's saying they got to wake up. You know, there's a lot of miscommunication on both sides. Both teams are looking really sluggish out there.
They really are looking kind of slow. But it looks like Harvest deciding to pick back up. They seem very cheery. They seem confident, but not overconfident. I like that. Aurora Christian looks kind of confused as to what happened. I'm just hoping Harvest can take back that lead. Wow, they only used half of their timeout. I'm kind of surprised. They called it, and they decided to only use half. Harvest making full use of that timeout. Back into play are Franz, Floyd, other Franz, Pearson, Batacola, and Salowitz. Batacola for the serve. Batacola straight over to Boss, who bumps it straight over to, should have been Michaela Franz, but she decided She didn't want to go get that. They play to that invisible woman, Matt. That invisible woman that never does anything right.
She causes a lot of problems out there.
Absolutely. Number 5, Wepner to out of bounds by Carol Kaufman. Smart call by her to let it go out. Actually, my bad, Emily Schmidt, number 5. I'm sorry, I'm having a little bit of time keeping these names straight. Number 3, Becca Salas up for her spin serve. Over to Boss. Back to Madsen, and over number 15, Jenny Don. She fails to deliver, and Harvest gets the point. Now the score is 14-15. Matt, they are coming back. Salas with a spin serve over. And that was a tricky one. I could have sworn that was going to go out of bounds. It was going to land in bounds, but number 6, Sarah Boss, went for it and knocked it out herself. Big Salas for the serve. Boss up to the net to number 4. Triple touch. The ball is down. Harvest has now taken the lead. The score is 16-15. I'm finally glad we have taken that lead back. Number 1, Hope. Number 4, Madsen. And back to Hope. To Jordan, who bumps it over. Number 2, Wepner. Salwitz to Floyd. To Kaufman, who spikes it over. To number 1, Hope Matanbalo. Talambano. Bumps it out.
You just can't seem to get that name right, can you,
I
John?
can't seem to get 2 of those names right. They're very kind of confusing to say. Salas over to Hope. To Madsen over to Wepner. Kaufman to France. To Salowitz. Over to Madsen. Back to Wepner. And then over the net to Jenny Don. Point for the Harvest Lions. The score is now 18-15. I think they might take this game, Matt. What do you think?
Well, I mean, if Aurora Christian keeps sending it right into their own net, I don't see why there's any reason we won't take this game.
It's always those simple mistakes that cause the most pain. Becca Salowitz excellently takes her powerful spin serves and spins it outward, making the score 18-16. Number 5, Emily Schmidt for the serve. Powerful serve over to Michaela Franz and into the net. Score is 18-17. Schmidt back to serve. Kaufman sets it to Salowitz, who gives it to Franz, who lightly taps it over. Number 1, Hope over to Jordan. She dives for it, but just isn't there in time. The score is now tied, 18-18. Anyone could take this match now. Schmidt to serve. Aurora Christian decided they wanted to serve when Harvest Christian Academy called the timeout. As all the players were walking off the field, she decided to serve it over.
Got to get those extra reps in.
Practice makes perfect. What do you think Coach Floyd is saying to her team right now, Matt?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I don't know what I'd be saying because there's moments where we're looking really awake out there. We're really sharp, playing well, making good hits and stuff. And then there's other moments where we just look very asleep out there.
Sleeping during a volleyball game is not good. Maybe this is just one of those timeouts to calm down the streak of Aurora Christian, maybe slow them down. As number 5, Emily Schmidt, comes back to serve. Maybe she won't serve it over to the net while there's a timeout this time. Schmidt to serve. High and out over the net to Carol Kaufman and Michaela France. Neither of them touch it, giving the point to the Lions. Lockwood and Pearson deciding to switch places. Michaela France serves it over for the Lions. Hope to Madsen. Back to Hope, who bumps it to Michaela France. Beck Solids taps it over. Number 4, Madsen. Number 1 bumps to Hope. Matalbano, who slams it out. Michaela Frank gets the serve. The score is now 20-18. We have that benchmark right here, Matt. That 20-point benchmark when people start to panic. Just as I'm seeing right here. Schmidt bumps it way out to Sarah, who bumps it back, and neither her or Jenny Don decide to go get it. Score is now 21-18. Michaela Franz. Michaela Franz to Hope, who serves it into the net, making the score 22-18. I think they might take this set, Matt.
It definitely is looking good out there for us right now.
We're in good shape. Franz for the serve. Over to Schmidt. And as Bosch tries to go get it, she just can't make it. Harvest cheering now that Aurora Christian has taken their timeout to use. The score is 23-18. What do you think the coach of Aurora Christian is saying to her girls right now?
I think she's really talking about their lack of execution out there. You know, there's a lot of serves that they should have been able to return. There's a lot of spikes and bumps that they're just missing and not talking on.
There has been a lot of that there, mostly for Aurora Christian. I kind of feel bad for them. They're a great team, but Harvest is just coming back on top. Michaela Franz back to serve with the score 23-18. Over to Boss, to Madsen, over to Jenny Don, who lightly taps it inbounds. Kara Kaufman rushes for it. She just doesn't get there in time. Substitution between 15, Jenny Don, and number 8, Miranda Belgaman. Seemed like there was a little bit of confusion there with the Eagles. Number 6, Sarah Boss for the serve. Carol Kaufman sets it to Morgan Lockwood, who sets it to Franz, who bumps it over the net to number 4, Madsen. Number 2, over to Carol Kaufman. Ashton Floyd lightly taps it over the net. Before Madsen to number 2, Wepner. Over to Morgan Lockwood, who spikes it over the net. And keeping it in, but keeping it out. The Harvest, the Aurora Christian Eagles have just given Harvest the point they need to get this match set.
You can't give away too many of those free points. You start doing that, you're going to see what we see right here. Harvest is going to come back and take this set.
As Carol Kaufman serves it over the net to number 1. Hope goes over and out. Harvest Christian Academy won the first set. The Eagles played very valiantly. The score is 25-19 as the teams switch sides. We're going to take a break for here right now, right here at IHSA.tv, or if you're watching online at the Harvest Christian Academy Athletic website. Welcome back, one and all. We are here at Elgin, Illinois, Harvest Christian Academy, Mitchell Schwalbach Center. This is set 2. Harvest Christian Academy Lions took the first set by coming back from the Aurora Christian Eagles. And set 2 is about to begin. What did you see from that first set, Matt? It seems like Harvest Christian Academy Lions played very well, but what did you think about the Eagles' performance?
You know, they went back and forth. There's a lot of times where, again, I'm just seeing spurts where everyone's being sluggish out there. There's no communication, and all of a sudden they flip the switch and they come on and they play great.
They did play very well. It is still somewhat early. It's 11:22 here at the Mitchell Schwabach Center in sunny, bright Elgin, Illinois.
Let's see if we have any lineup difficulties like in the last set.
I'm hoping we don't. I had enough time struggling with their first names anyways. Number 14 for the Aurora Christian team is coming to serve. Ivy Olson. That's quite the name. I like that name, actually. Ivy Olson. Aurora Christian starts out the match by serving it over into the net. That's the way you want to start a match. Giving a free point to the team you like.
Not a very good start for the Eagles, but of course, you know, as the Lions, we're not really complaining about it, are we?
Absolutely not. Becca Salowitz over to number 1, Hope to number 14, Ivy, over to Schmidt. Back to Becca, over to Floyd, who lightly throws it over and lands it dead center of the court where that invisible woman never gets anything right. Scores 2-0, Harvest Lions up. Becca Salowitz for the serve. Back to Hope, over to Ivy, and over to Sarah Boss, who just doesn't hit it hard enough and gets it into the net. Salowitz with the serve. Over to Hope, back to Ivy and Boss. Over to Becca Salowitz, who just doesn't get there in time. She goes for it, but doesn't make it. Scores 3-1, Harvest in the lead.
Now this is the type of start that we were really looking for. Unlike in the last set, we kind of started off a little shaky.
Absolutely, man. As we saw last game, when they played this, actually 2 games ago, when they played, I think it was, who did they play 2 games ago? Where they came back from like a 13-point deficit, which was very fantastic.
I think that was it was either the Aldrin Heaven Giants or it was the Bards from DeKalb.
I think it was the Alden Hebert Giants. They played very well and came back on the 3rd set. Number 14 to Carol Kaufman, over to Becca Salowitz, to Morgan Lockwood, who spikes it into the open center between Hope and Schmidt. Michaela Franz with the serve. Straight to Sarah Boss. Over to Ivy. Over to Hope, who gives it right into the net. Score 6-1. Harvest is taking the lead, up by 5. Michaela Franz back for the serve. Over to Metalbano. Metalbano over again to Franz. Over to Becca. Back to Ivy. Over to Metalbano. Becca Salowitz to Morgan Lockwood, who gets it over the net. Gets blocked, but the block goes over back onto the Aurora Christian side, giving the point to the Harvest Lions. Number 5, Emily Schmidt to 14, Ivy. Number 2, Jillian Wepner. Gets it over to Michaela Franz, who sets it out. Giving the ball to Aurora Christian, making the score 7-2. Harvest in the lead. Number 6, Sarah Boss, the libero for the Eagles. To number 8, back to Metalba now, who spikes it into the net. She kind of did like a fadeaway there. She was like fadeaway, bam, into the net. Carol Kaufman, libero number 20 for Harvest Christian Academy Alliance for the serve. And a substitution between Ellie Franz and Morgan Lockwood. Ace for the Harvest Christian Academy Alliance. Aurora Christian using their timeout maybe to cool off the Harvest Christian Academy Lions, like I said last game. That's what the Harvest did to the Eagles. Smart move. Seems like the JV of Harvest Christian Academy has gotten their spirits up. They're very happy, and they are ready to play.
Looks like all that morning caffeine's finally kicking in.
Harvest using more time of the Eagles' timeout than they did. Carol Kaufman back to serve. Ace for the Harvest Christian Academy Lions, making the score 10-2. And another ace for the Harvest Christian Academy Alliance. And that is 3 so far this set. Score is 11-2, Harvest in the lead.
Carol Kaufman is really just on a roll right now.
Emily Schmidt bumps it to number 2, Wepner. Boss over Michaela Franz, just out of bounds. Carol Kaufman with the serve. Number 1, Matawano. 14, Olsen. Floyd over to Lily Batacola, who spikes it out. Number 2, Jillian Wepner for the serve. Number 25, Michaela Franz to Salowitz. Over to Kaufman. Back to Schmidt, Wepner, and then Olsen sets it over. Carol for the dive. Abatacola with the bump over. And it goes out right by the referee, almost hitting the guy. The score is now 13-3, Harvest up by 10. Ashlyn Floyd with the serve. Sarah Boss leans it down. This is the bump out of bounds. Ashlyn Floyd back to serve. Straight to Olsen. Over to Wepner. Back to Olsen, who spikes it over the net to Michaela Franz. And no one could get there in time. Number 2, Jillian Wepner with the serve for the Eagles. Actually, number 1, Hope Matalba now with the serve. And into the net. Things are not looking very good for the Eagles right now here, Matt. What are you seeing?
I am pretty much, all I'm seeing is lack of execution on their side. You know, they're just not communicating, and it's just not looking good for them right now.
It isn't looking very good, but it is looking good for Jordan as she serves it over the net with an ace. Score is 16-4. Harvest way in the lead. Number 9, Jordan over the net. to number 4, Kirsten Madsen, who does not complete execution correctly. Jordan Pearson back to serve. Into the net. Giving a point to the Aurora Christian Eagles. Number 6 there, Boss Libero, switches out with number 15, Jenny Don. Over to Carol Kaufman, back to Ashlyn Floyd. Becca Salet spikes it over the net to number 2, Weaponer. Over to Ashlyn Floyd. Becca Salowitz up for Franz. Over to Olsen. Over to Don. And back to Jordan. Floyd to Kaufman. And gets immediately blocked by Jenny Don. Point for Aurora Christian. Harvest line still up by 11. Carol Kaufman bumps it to Floyd, who bumps it to Franz. Schmidt back to Schmidt. Over to Salowitz. Lilybeth Batacola bumps it over. Schmidt to Wepner to Olsen. Lands inbound with a large gap by the Harvest team. But that invisible woman did not make any plays.
Yeah, that invisible woman, she's really a momentum killer. You know that, John?
She's really a bummer. No one likes her. She's just that person everyone hates. Harvest up by 10, score 17-7. Kaufman to Floyd, who takes it way over. And number 4, Madsen, hits it out of bounds. Batacola with the serve. Straight in enemy territory as number 14, Ivy Olsen, goes for it. Number 2, Jillian Lepner takes it out. Lily Batacola back for the serve. And number 4, Kirsten Madsen takes it out. We have now hit that 20-point benchmark, Matt. We are up by 13 points. It looks like Harvest is going to win, no?
It does look like we have Aurora Christian on the ropes. Now all we got to do is keep up the momentum and just finish them off.
I think that comes out quickly. Sarah Boss to number 2, Wepner, over to Olsen, who actually keeps it in. Floyd to Salowitz. Back to Floyd, who spikes it over the net. And a net violation by I'm not sure who. Lily Batacola back for the serve, scores 21-7. To Boss, to Olsen, and over to Wepner. Batacola to Salowitz. And miscommunication by Franz and Floyd, giving a point to the Eagles. The Eagles haven't even made 10 points yet. I'm kind of disappointed. I was kind of hoping Harvest would have a little bit more of a challenge. Number 14, Olsen to Pearson. Up to Salowitz, over to Floyd, who barely gets it out. Good call by Aurora Christian. Harvest Christian Academy calling a timeout, but I'm not really exactly sure why. They seem to have a very big lead. What do you think Floyd is saying to her team right now? Matt?
Sorry, I'm having a little technical difficulties here.
I asked, what do you think Floyd is saying to her team right now as they called the timeout instead of Aurora Christian?
You know, I really think she's just telling them, not to let up. We got Aurora on the ropes, just need to keep up the intensity and just finish them off.
That is very true. I'm seeing a lot of vulnerability here. There's a lot of open space from what I'm seeing the Harvest play. I mean, there's much more open space with the Eagles, but they know how to cover it up sometimes. 14 Olsen to Franz. To Salowitz. Kaufman bumps it over. Hits the pole. Net violation, giving the score 21-9. Harvest still in the lead. Olsen over. Inbounds. Scores now 21-11. 14 Olsen for the serve. Pearson up. Man, these girls are on fire today. They seem to be coming back. They have the exact opposite of the score that's going on right now. It's 21-12. Olsen to Kaufman. Olsen has a wicked serve. Becca to Floyd over to Franz. Olsen to Wepner. Over to Salowitz. Franz into the net.
Probably should have set that last one over. I don't like the decision she made to spike it.
It really wasn't a very smart move, especially because I saw her arm went very kind of noodly. It was not a very executed spike. Kaufman to Floyd over to Franz, who sets it over. Straight to Metalbano, over to Boss. Kaufman to Floyd. Over to Salowitz, who takes it straight into the back corner. Brilliantly placed and well hit. Salowitz is back to serve. She has that wicked spin serve I've been telling everyone about. She's a great player. Freshman year, knows what she's doing. Straight over to Boss, over to Olsen. Wepner gets it over and hits it out. Cross court slap, hits it out.
And we got the girls varsity team up here cheering on the JV team, hoping to motivate them to get another win.
That's exactly what Harvest here is all about. We're always about encouraging our other teammates, always other teams. And right now, the stands are starting to fill in for our varsity game, which is a huge deal at Harvest. Another point for the Harvest Lions. This could be set match, 24-13.
This is do or die for the Aurora Eagles.
And a net violation on Aurora Christian, giving Harvest the point. Set 1 won by the Eagles. Set 2 won by the Lions. I'm looking forward to an exciting set 3. We will be back later. Right now, we're going to take a little bit of a break. I'm sorry. It seems that we have won both sets. See, my memory is already fading, and I'm only 15. This is a problem. And so we will join you here later for the varsity game. Adios.
defense.